Hey guys, welcome back to Arry The Stag. TR Tony here. Hope you're well wherever you are. This is the, I think it's the third video this time, on how to flush your engine system. As you can probably hear, oh yes, V8 in it, just lovely. The engine is running. I've got the radiator flush going through right now. I'll just show you what I did this morning. The boys were out also working on various cars. They had issues with their modern cars, so it's been a pretty boysy kind of morning, Saturday morning, a real-time live Saturday sockets. Maybe we should film this in future. And anyway, so I've managed to clean the system out. I'll show you in just a sec what I did, and I'm just now warming it through with the rad flush inside, and hopefully this is going to clear the engine out. But let me just show you what I did, and I'll check in with you in a bit. Started first time in Arry. It's a bit wet in there. Yeah. You need a cover like mine. I thought it was getting damp in the week. Here's my cover, which works really well because when the wind gets under it, it dries it out as well. That's what you want, Arry, one of these. It's getting in your Webasto or wherever.
Coming in from around footwear area.
Is it?
It's dry everywhere.
This is a live Saturday morning sockets. And James, what are you doing?
Exhaust gas temperature sensor to P2033 to be precise.
Right. Which is located in the exhaust.
Just after. Is it just after or just before the DPF? Can't remember now. It's after. It's in the centre silencer.
Well done. So this is the old one, Arry. You got here? Just
it rattles.
Hang on. Oh yeah.
So it's a whole sensor that goes right to the tip. It's just snapped off.
Yeah.
Which is why he's then not getting a reading.
Yeah.
And obviously the cable's frayed at the end. And throwing a fog on. Oh yeah, and it's rubbed through on the end.
Oh yeah.
So never would have been working.
Yeah, I see.
It's completely
That's not very good,
gone.
is it?
So
well done, boys.
need to find out where that's gone wrong.
And what does this do? This
Exhaust gas temperature sensor, so it'll basically tell you how much or how hot your exhaust gases are coming out.
Yeah.
And it can then regulate the fuel air mixture as it goes through.
Yeah.
And it'll also let you know when you need a regen, which is obviously which might.
Good team effort.
Old end of it.
We had a crisis this morning with this, didn't we? Breaking off, and part of the plastic going in the engine, which would not have been very good. So that's been fished out, luckily, with a pair of long nose pliers that Harry's managed to acquire. And there they are, which is good. So lots of work going on, and my job today is to put this here radiator cleaner, speed flush, and get on with the Stag. It's been a little while since we've been out here because of the rain and the weather and everything else. So onwards and upwards. Happy days. Arry the Stag. And Trumpet Pilot Bob. Well, at least his feet. So I must admit it's really quite a privilege to have the boys with me working on cars, and Arry the Stag at home on a Saturday morning doesn't get much better, and looking at classic cars as well now. So my job today is to flush out the system using the rad flush. Here is the expansion bottle. You can see that I've cleaned it out of all the pond life that was in the bottom, and the bracket that came with it obviously needs to hold it back in. So I'm going to reassemble that in just a second. First off though, I've got to remove my Alto gizmo, which you'll see in the corner there was to funnel out any overflow water, and I've just made sure all the Jubilee clips are tight and sealed on the heater matrix, back of the engine, and also on the Y joint on the water pump, which you've just seen. So now I've got to put this in, and on the face of it, a very simple job. Does help if you take the pressure relief valve cap off. All you need to do is get the bracket and clamp it in. It's a simple little system. It's got a couple of slots there that engage with the vertical UE that is welded to the engine bay wing to hold it all in place, obviously when it's in the car. And for those of you who are really keen and on the money, you'll have already spotted I've made a mistake. I'll come back to that in just a minute. But that's how the bottle is affixed. Those little indentations in the metal hold onto the vertical UEs that's on the car. But what you would have seen is I was putting the bracket on upside down, so I had to remove the water bottle again and just offer it up the right way. And I think you can see here where the bolt and nut clamp it, it is actually handed, so it's away from the radiator as it wasn't earlier, up the wrong way. So that now will drop into there. The bottle drops in sprung loaded into its seating, and then you just pull up the metal clip to fit into those little divots in the bracket, and now you can get your nut and bolt into the clamp bolt bracket at the front there, and the thing is all nice and secure. And you can see there I've locked it all in, and I've joined the rubber tube up to the overflow on the top of the rad, and that's a very simple nut and bolt affair with a washer. Helps if you squeeze the clamp together, by the way, and that just enables you to get the nut and bolt on properly. Meanwhile, so now we go to start up Arry the Stag. I'm so depressed. Oh, first time. Very good. We'll have a quick look, even though working on the Stag, we'll have a quick look. Looks alright to me. Okay, so back to the Stag, and we've now got the bottle in place. I just need to remove the Alto gizmo, as I called it, my patented funnel, held in place with two little zip ties, which I thought was a very good idea. And very simply removed. Out it comes. My little gizmo. Clever, huh? Yeah. And then again, just needed to top up a little bit of water before I put in the rad flush, just to give a little bit of dilution as I put it in. And you can begin to see some of the water coming back into the radiator. Again, remember I'm reverse flushing this, so it's going back up the radiator after it's been in the engine. Here's the speed flush I've been talking about, and only about £2 or £3 from my local Halfords. And what you do is just tip it in, and you can see here I've done the put the upper hose back on, tip it in, and fill up then with water such that it can do its stuff when running the engine again in a while. I've now got to retighten the Jubilee clip at the top of the engine, so that's all nice and tight. The expansion bottle has a little bit of water in. They recommend it needs to be filled up to halfway, just for the record, according to the manual. And now I'm just topping up with water to fill, and once we do that, we'll plan to start the engine and run the speed flush through for it to do its work and get rid of all that horrible nasty gunk that I'm sure is still in there, even though we flushed it many times, as you would have seen in the first video a while back. So that's that's now full, and there's the water in the expansion bottle. And I'm just putting the air filter back on, really just to protect against any water flying in. You don't want to get water in the air intakes. And obviously we need to put the what would be called the radiator cap back on the expansion bottle, and that's a pressure item, so as it says there, you shouldn't remove it unless you're absolutely stone cold. And now we've got to put in the brass kind of screw at the top to lock it all in, plug for want of a better term. Okay, so off to the car. Now what we've got to do is try and run the engine to burp the system. No doubt there will be some air still locked in there, and a good way to wind it, for want of a better term, is to run the engine, runs the water pump, and then naturally aerates any air out of the system, burps it out of the system. Okay, I'm in. And that way we'll have a clean engine, hopefully. So, gentlemen, to your cars. A little bit of choke. Wait for your tick tick to finish. And away we go, fingers crossed. First time, pretty good. Okay, let's go and check the levels now. So now the engine is running, we're back round to have a look in that plug hole at the top of the rad. Okay, that seems to be the right level. Seems to be ticking along nicely. I've still got choke on it. There's a whole load of water in the top there that will come off. I'm sure that's just overspill from what I've done. That's running smooth, and the level seems to be about the same. I might just give it a rev just to see what happens. So back to the car again, and a good right welly. I could have done this from inside the engine bay, of course. Yeah, hang on. Just eased off a little bit on the choke there. Give it another rev. Sounds good. Leave it ticking along for a bit longer. Check the level again. Oh, the smell of this is lovely. Yeah, hasn't gone down much. Although I've got a little bit of a leak here which I need to sort. Tighten up the Jubilee clip. And interestingly, we've just lost some water. Not a lot, just a little bit. So I'm just going to top up a bit more. Quite normal that you're burping the system, letting some air out. Keep an eye on that. And down again. Top up again. Okay, so we warmed up a little bit now. I'll just put that cap on and then take it for a drive. Hopefully that will seal the system. So that's all nice and tight and sealed in. I just wanted to talk about the air filter box actually, because it is a bit of a fiddle. Had me confused. Couldn't put it back in the other day, and basically the secret is to make sure that the base of these clips is pushed in really firmly before you lift up, and also that the seam on the back of the air box, as you look at it nearest the bulkhead, is tucked into the lip at the back. There's a bit of a fiddle, and just well worthwhile mentioning it whilst I'm on the subject. That's the hot air gas coming back out of the top of the engine to open up the butterflies in the air intake. And again, there we go, there's the clip. There's a little lip just underneath. Make sure it's nice and clipped in before you try and pull it up. Seems to be running okay now. No real leaks, that's all dried up now. That's good. warm. Choke full off now. Gonna go and give it a road test and then come back. We've got to let it cool and then flush it all out again, and then we put the antifreeze in finally. Okay guys, so thanks for that. Hopefully you got another few ideas of how to flush a rad. Just watch out for the water level as you're running it back up, dropping. Just that's quite normal. It burps out any kind of loose air, so we just need to kind of refill it as you're doing that. It's got the engine flushing it now. Going to go through, going to give it a bit of a run, give it a good cleanse through, and then once it's cooled down, we'll then be able to drain all the fluid again, give it a flush through as we did before, and then hopefully by then we'll be clean enough to put the antifreeze in. I know it's been a few steps to do this, guys, but you know, it's all good fun, isn't it, really? Anyway, I hope you're having a good week wherever you are. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. We're always happy for you to refer a friend if anybody out there has anybody else interested in classic cars or stags or both. We're all very very friendly here. Don't forget either to order your free Arry The Stag badge of honour. It's a sticker you can put on your windscreen, and free of charge we'll send it to you. All you got to do is go onto our website, which I'll append below, and order one, and we'll send one through to you, no problem at all. All part of sharing the classics dream, really. Good stuff. Okay, well, have a good week wherever you are, folks, and we will see you online on Arry The Stag for more shenanigans very soon. Cheers for now. All the best. Bye.